tonight is clearly existed in the times of Confucius, around 500 BC. And like the sage philosopher himself, the GuQin has become synonymous and is perhaps the embodiment of Chinese culture. Another indicator of Chinese society is silk. And it is this very silk that had the only tensile strength strong enough for the strings of a GuQin. It is not a band or ceremonial instrument, or one performed for large audiences like here tonight. It is a more personal instrument for the enjoyment of oneself or a very limited audience. Now, there was a very famous player of the GuQin whose name was Boya, and he lived around the time of Confucius. And when Boya learned that his very close friend had died, a friend who could feel all the emotions that Boya put into the music that he played, Boya took his instrument outside and smashed it, saying there was no one left who understood his music. The story is responsible for the common saying that identifies true friends or bosom friends or soulmates, the phrase of GuQin. Now, one of Boya's most famous tunes is called Flowing Waters, Liu Shui. The song was number 82 and the longest of the 31 tunes that were recorded on the famous gold-plated disc that was sent into outer space on the Voyagers in 1977. In 2003, GuQin music was proclaimed as one of the masterpieces of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity by UNESCO. And I just discovered that in a year later, in 2004, the Indianapolis Museum of Art was given a painting by a certain Peng, the 20th century master of the Qin, who played the flowing water song that is on the gold disc now hurtling through space. If you want to know more about the GuQin, I would suggest a website called SilkQin, that's SilkQin, by a certain John Thompson, and to pay attention to Simon Feng, the master at tonight's gathering.
Okay, that's the first correction. I am not the master. The GuQin instrument is a very odd one because it's not a performance instrument, and it's not. I've always tried to capture the imagery so people can understand what it's about. It's really an instrument played by the literati, by scholars for themselves. It's played for self-enjoyment, and I finally thought of some imagery. So I thought, comparing GuQin music to regular music, it's a little bit like comparing yoga to basketball. Okay, you don't perform yoga for other people. It's all done for yourself, for self-cultivation. In the past, there were very, very few professional Qin players because this was something that the scholars themselves were supposed to be able to do. For example, the four pillars of the scholarly activities used to be Qin, Qi, Su, Hua, which is Qing, which is the first one is the Qing. The second one is chess, Wei Qi, the Go, game of Go. And then there's calligraphy and painting. Of course, these are things that the scholar is supposed to be engaged in personally. I mean, you can't designate somebody to play chess for you. It just wouldn't work. And so, this is an instrument that is not usually classically played by professionals. So I'm not a professional at all. And what's scary is, I'm sure some of you here are good musicians and professional musicians and people with perfect pitch, and I'm none of those. And this music is really, it's weird. This music is not played for people to hear, it's played for the player rather than for an audience. I'm thinking, how did I get that through? And it finally occurred to me, I says, well, what it's really like is for somebody to be singing in the shower. Okay? When we sing in the shower, we don't have an audience. We hope not, because we don't have any clothes on. And so, but we sing, and it's for ourselves. So I'm gonna do my best. If I make any mistakes and whatnot, remember I'm not a musician, especially I'm not a professional. But all I can say is, welcome to my shower.
Well, now it is time to serve dinner, and I will be back at 8 o'clock to begin the awards program. And in the meantime, please don't forget to buy the 50/50 raffle tickets from our young volunteers. They'll be mingling around here. That is one way that you can help the Indie Asian American Times. Also, be sure to keep the stub that you received when you checked in, because